A very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, so last session we were discussing about the introduction that how we wanted to start our work. So we decided that we wanted to go with the Linux, and in Linux also, especially we wanted to go with Red Hat, and in Red Hat also we wanted to go with the 9 version because 9 is the more, I mean, one most recent in a way, like so 10 came few months back, so it was the almost the most recent one, so that's where we wanted to go with that. And 9 or 10, I don't think so much differences will be coming into picture. So 99.9% the commands should remain same from version to version. So it's only like new enhancements will come, uh, new things will come into the newer versions usually, right? So that's how it was. And also, we wanted to practice this Linux, by the way. So where to practice was a question mark. And we decided that, we'll be going with the cloud and we'll be using the cloud account. So I asked every one of you to create a cloud account. And once you create the cloud account, so we can go ahead and create the servers, right? So yesterday I demonstrated that particular part also. Now, yesterday I was reminding certain things like when you actually log in, always a good practice to go and so check your billing and the cost thing. For the first thing that you do is always go and check the billing. Okay, so are you getting any billed high or something like that, right? So always. Okay, now the next thing is what I told is we need to create the servers, and the servers is a part of EC2 is a service. So here we can go ahead and create a server. So when you actually go to the instances, you can launch an instance here. You can choose the image which I was giving yesterday. You can choose here. Okay, that search will take little time. Now, rather than that, so what I have done is I have provided a direct image URL. So I would suggest you to bookmark this. Okay. So I'm bookmarking this so that anytime I want to create an instance, I'll go here directly. So otherwise, you can go ahead and search. For an example, this is my name, right? You can go here and you have to go for browse AMI. And this mine is a public AMI, community AMI, okay, offering free. So you search for that and it will take its own time, sweet time to come back again because it's a huge list, by the way. And rather than that, actually what we're doing is here, I'm giving the direct URL. So where is this images? And it will be easier for you. Okay, that is the only difference. Okay, I'm closing this. Just coming back to here, I will go to the launch instance, choose this image, and launch instance from AMI. And you just click on launch instance. It will pop up for key pair. I will choose don't create any key pair, launch an instance. So give it a minute and it will be up and running. So until here, we have discussed in last session. Okay, so just launching instance only. I have shown technical part yesterday session. Otherwise, it was part of introduction, right? So here we wanted to go with Linux and we wanted to learn the Linux, like I mentioned. So the first week is going to be this week, the next, including today, the 4 days is going to be the Linux commands, introduction to the learning the operating system, right? Okay, and also I have explained, so there is a username password that we are using. So just assume the image which I'm offering have a default username and password, but assume that assume you're in a company, you're entering once after you launch an instance, you connect to that server with your username and password. Okay, so that is how uh, Okay, so that is what we have discussed in yesterday's session, right? Yeah, and we know how to connect. So we take the IP address. So here I will take the IP address, public IP address. And what is public IP? What is private IP? We will learn mostly the next week first session, if I am not wrong. If possible, we'll complete this week only. But mostly a full networking session will be kicked off to understand the things. Okay, so that time you'll understand what is that. But otherwise, until then, so you just use the public IP. So EC2 user at the rate this IP address. Okay, and here it is telling you offer yes or no. So that's what I have mentioned already in the document as well. So it will ask you yes or no. Maybe it's not mentioned here. It's okay, but it will ask you yes or no. Accept the fingerprint. Please accept it, and then it will ask for the password. So what is the password? Is DevOps 321, capital D, capital O. DevOps 321. When you type it, it won't show you the password, by the way. So assume you are entering it and hit enter. If you enter correctly, it will take you to the password. So you have to be careful. If you are using Windows also, so the software I have given here, so you just download this software, and here you're having the IP address, you enter it, accept it, enter username and password, you will be logging in. And once you log in, whether you're in Windows or Linux, it doesn't matter. The terminal remains same. Okay, the prompt remains same, and everything is going to be same only, no difference. Just the connection part will be a bit different here. That's all. Okay. All right. So let's get it started with the Linux. Any questions before starting?
Hi, Raghu. So, my question is when we are starting an instance, it gives an option to connect from the dashboard, but we
Correct.
are connecting in the terminal. So, we
There are many
cannot.
ways.
Okay.
That is one of the
Okay. So,
okay.
you can also connect from the dashboard.
Correct. But my image won't support that. So as of now, uh, Amazon supports only Amazon Linux or Ubuntu Linux to be connected from the dashboard. Red Hat, they don't have a support yet.
Okay. Thank
Yeah. They have a support yet, but otherwise you have to use, if you are connecting, actually you can't use this option. You have to use this option, then only it will work. This public IP option is supported only for uh, Amazon Linux and Ubuntu Linux, where Red Hat won't support that.
you. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So let's get it Linux. Let's get into the Linux. Okay. So when you actually log into the Linux, and I already mentioned yesterday, so Linux is well known for a command line interface. Linux also has graphical interface, same like Windows or Mac OS, you have a graphical interface. But we don't use Linux for that purpose. Okay. Our server editions won't prefer a graphical approach. Okay. So command line is the best one. So, and I mentioned about like, why command line. So it is secure, it is lightweight, it is less software. Okay. There are reasons that, and it is productive. Command line is more productive than a graphical way. Okay. So in a way, at least if you look at the server or that kind of requirements, that side of requirements, don't tell me that, or don't say that, okay, if command line, how can I edit a graphical image? No, that's not the purpose of a server for here. Okay, so that's how it is a different thing. So the purpose of the server is to serve something. Okay, if you are actually serving something, so then server, and then the Linux, and then the command line. Okay, now whenever you log into the command line prompt, your prompt will tell you certain things. The prompt shows that which user you logged in, so EC2 hyphen user. So it is telling that which username we logged in. If I log in a company with my username, maybe it will show your username. And this is customizable, by the way. Okay. So yeah, so it is just showing you default the username and the IP address, which is nothing but the server name. So every server will have a name. Okay. So that is called as a host name. Okay. Every server is going to have a name that is called as a host name. And the host name is going to show you here. If I type my host name, so it will give me the host name. So this is the name of the host, and this is the part of the domain anyhow. So it is the name of the host. The ec2.internal is a common thing that Amazon offers. It's a domain, we call it up. Now, for an example, if I join an organization, okay, so let's say you are a Gmail user. What is your Gmail? What is your username in Gmail? Username is different with email. Okay, when I ask what is your username, then you will tell my username is okay. So let's say John123, something like that. But email is john123 at the rate gmail.com. Okay, that's an email, right? That's an FQDN, or you can consider, right? So the same way, now your servers also is going to be a part of your a particular domain. So here, every server is going to be a part of ec2.internal that Amazon creates, and this server is the host name. So host name dot the domain name. Okay, so that's how it is, and this is a name, right? So you'll see the host name also on the prompt, and also you will usually see a symbol. This one, this symbol tells that you are in your home directories. You are in your home directory. So I think Windows just shows like, so Windows also have CMD, a command line you can do the job. When you go into the CMD, I think it will show you the full path, like, where are you? Okay. So here, it will show you where are you. Even though you're in a home directory, it will show you users, this one. But I think Linux, especially the Red Hat Linux version of Bash, the command line will show you the tilde symbol to tell that you are in a um, home directory. So that is one thing that you need to understand. You're in your home. Okay. So if in Windows also, you will be having your home directory, correct? So it will be under C drive users. So here also you will be keeping your, whenever a user is created, so you'll have a home directory. Now the next one is executing the commands using the options. So now in the command line, what do we do is execute the commands. And those commands may not be a standalone commands. Those commands are going to have some options as well. Okay. So in the command line, anything you want to do is merely a command. Okay. Everything is a command in command line. So if you are executing some command, so for an example, if I'm entering uname, here I entered a command host name to get the host name information. Now I know what I want. I entered the command to perform that action. What I wanted a host name. I have that understanding, and I entered a command to get the host name. Right? Now I know that I need to get the some system information, and that's where I'm entering the command uname. So it gives certain information. This is telling this is a Linux. Okay, and whereas it also every command is actually going to have certain options as well. Okay, or it may not be every command in a way, so it is optional again. The command may or may not have the options. The output shows some information, what do we need to know, but even some commands some commands may not show any information also. Okay, for an example, if I try to add a user, for an example, just as an example, okay, doesn't give you any information that I added a user. Okay, I didn't added a user, nothing it will show. Okay, so that means what do you need to do here is you need to understand the command and you understand its behavior. It's the thing that you need to understand. Okay, so whenever you are entering a command, you should understand its behavior. Okay, so whether this will give the output or this will doesn't give the output, you will need to understand that. Okay, whether it is executed successfully, not successfully, you start adapting it. Even you see the information, you don't see the information. There are ways you could be getting it. But anyhow, as of now, the simple high level point is every command you execute may not give you the output as well. Okay, and the commands which is giving output are okay, can be, okay, the behavior can be changed by using some options. So we can go with the changing of the behavior by using with an options. Commands can have options to modify the default behavior. For an example, if I have uname, if I give, let's say, -i, it tells that it is an x86-64 architecture. Okay. Now uname -a, if I give, it is giving something more, right? So, and also you can combine multiple options also. Uname, okay, -a, -l, uh, -i, I can give, or maybe I is not having much prominence. Maybe some other option. I also don't know. CI I can give. C also is not there. Now, first of all, I don't know the options. There is no point in playing with the options. Now, most of the commands will provide the information about its command by using -help. Okay, so uname. If I give -help, 90% of the commands will provide an option with -help. If those are not providing an option, so you will have -help something. Okay, or else a -h. Okay, mostly these three only will be there, the combinations. -help, -h is a three common options that is given to the commands, because each and every command is developed by an individual developer. But whereas -help is a common thing that has picked up, okay, to someone. See, I've been a Linux guy. Okay, at least it's been almost like 18 years close to I'm a Linux guy. Now I don't remember the uname options also, honestly. Okay, so then for a human being, it is not possible, like to remember most of the things, right? So, or many of these, such minor details. So that's where you need to know about the information. So that's where uname -help. Now we'll come to know that what are the options which are there. So uname, I was struggling with an option -i, it was giving you something. Now uname -o, I can give. So a combination. So I'll get two things, by the way, I'm getting, right? So what all you need to understand, I don't want you to understand the uname command here. I want you to understand how you provide the options. Now, how do you provide the options? You provide the command. It can be any command, and then you provide the option. Okay, it can be any command, and it can be any option. Now, how do you know about that command, that options? -help. Okay, so this is how you will deal with the commands. And also, you will see a combination of the options just now I talked about anyhow. And also you will see um, some commands with some inputs as well. Okay, so the commands with the input. So now so far you did not see an option or a command with an input. Now you'll see a command with input also. For an example, if I give ls, I'm not getting anything. So if I give ls/boot, so I'm giving something as an input. This is not an option, by the way, is an input, and you're getting something. Okay. So now overall you need to understand here is you will be having a command. Command may or may not have options. Command may or may not have inputs. So now you can see this ls command, it worked without input. ls command worked with input. ls command worked with input and option together. Now it all depends upon the command. Okay, which command you're using? It has certain options, it has some inputs. Maybe in the very starting it looks too much heavy, but trust me, just over a couple of days you'll be able to get used to these ways, by the way. You just need to stick around. And hardly, like most of the time you will remember 2 3 options for a command, and some 40 50 commands on overall. Okay, that's all. And I mean, being a past, I'm having a quite experience on Linux, by the way. I may cross from 50 to some 80, less than 100 only. I don't know more than 100 commands. Okay, so that is how it is going to be, like so it's like I already mentioned, Linux is an operating system. And since it is an operating system, you just compare with the Windows operating system that you know. Now, Windows also has infinite number of things. You will not know each and every option. Linux also has infinite number of options. You will not know which and everything in Linux. You will know essentially how to run the things for your requirement. Okay. And from there on, some or other time you'll get some requirement, and you know how to handle it anyhow. You know the operating system, you know what to search and what to read and what to apply. By the time you'll get that maturity, so there's nothing to bother. And I'm specifically stressing this particular point, okay, uh, because I see a lot of people, waste a lot of time on the Linux in detail. It's a good thing only. I don't deny on that particular part, but you don't waste your initial time on that, by the way. Later, whenever you feel one couple of days, maybe like, you can go through that. It's okay. But to start with, okay, don't put it as, a hard requirement that I'll know Linux, then only I'll move on to the next thing. Okay. It necessarily need not to be that way. That's my point. Okay. So this is what is the introduction. And there's also a combination of commands are also there. So for now, we'll just stick with this command. So ls command and the uname command. So you can run two commands together. Okay, ls and ls semicolon uname. So now you can see this ls and uname. Maybe ls is not showing anything because it doesn't have anything. So now you executed two commands between keeping a semicolon in between. Okay. So that means you can run multiple commands on the same line. And also there are other ways of executing multiple commands also. So which is ls command, okay, first command and double ampersand and other second command. So now ls/boot, it gives the things, and double ampersand uname. Okay, you got the uname output also. Now you can question, hey, previously you executed two commands. Okay, like let's say ls/boot of uname. Now here also the boot is coming the same thing. Then what is the difference here? What is the significance of this? The significance of this is if the first command is successful, then only you want to go to the second command. Then this will come into picture. Even the first command is a failure. Let's say if I go with the boot one where it doesn't exist. So boot one tells like, ls command, there is no such file or directory. I will assume this as an error. Okay. So it doesn't perform well. Okay. Because my input is wrong. And whereas the command uname executed, but whereas the double ampersand, if you see, okay, you will see that only this got executed, whereas the next uname did not executed because there's a significance of double ampersand is if the first command is successful, then only you go for second command. If first command is a failure, then you want to go to the second command. So then it is okay, double pipe symbol. Okay, whereas semicolon, first command failed, success doesn't matter. It always executes the second command. But whereas double ampersand, it executes the second command only if my first command is successful. Then whereas if first command is a failure, then only it will execute the second command. If first command is successful, it will never execute the second command. Now you see this. Now there is no point of running the uname command because my first command itself is successful. So don't bother about these two things at this moment. Okay, I just wanted to just give a, a note that there are ways of multiple command executions based on the logic also. Logic is first command success, first command failure. Okay, so you will be able to build multiple commands. But anyhow, slowly you start using it. As of now, you don't immediately think too much about it. I think any place where I want to execute two commands, one after another, I'll go for ls semicolon. This is what is a basic introduction that I wanted to give you about the command. So on the command line, just to revisit the points we had talked about, a command line interface will tell you certain things. The first thing is the username at the rate hostname it will tell, and the symbol will tell you the tilde symbol. It will tell you in which directory you are in. You are in home directory. Okay. Now, whereas if I go to some other directory, so it will show you that some other directory path. Let's say cd/val or some example. So it just tells me that I'm in this particular one. But whereas the tilde symbol means I am in my home directory. Okay. So that is what is a understand. Okay. And if I want to change this behavior also, I can change. What is my home directory? I want to show the full path. Somewhere, some property in the operating system, we need to modify that to show, okay, don't show tilde symbol, you show the path only. We'll be able to do that. It's not a big deal. Okay. It's customizable. But this is just how the default is. That's what I'm telling. Okay, so that is the prompt about. And the next is you will be having commands. You will learn bunch of commands, okay, for the few days. And command may have options and may have some inputs. That all depends upon the command only. Okay. So the next third one is you can combine multiple commands. Okay. So as of now, you stick with semicolon. First command after that, second command after that, third command you want to execute, then you go. All right. Does it make sense? Shall we start with the Linux actual commands? Any questions before proceeding? Cool. So let's start with some other basic understanding from the learnings or the from the knowledge of our Windows. Let's compare certain things in Linux, especially the directory structure overview. Okay. So in Linux, the directory structure starts with a root directory, that is slash. Whereas in Windows, it starts with a C drive. Your operating system, where actually it resides, it's actually in C drive. Okay. So, and Windows use backslash, Linux use forward slash. Okay. So Windows was developed after Unix operating system. Okay. So, and so Unix was having forward slash, and that's where the Windows went with backward slash. That's how it was. Okay. But as a Linux later came, it just simply told, okay, I will rebuild everything. But however, Unix is already the best operating system. I'll build everything that looks like Unix. And that's where Linux and Unix looks most of the things similar. Okay. But it is not similar. Okay. So that's where here I have provided one video. Okay. If you're really interested on the history of that particular one, like how this Linux has been came into the picture in the very first place. What is the idea? Okay. So the history of Linux is a very good video. Okay. If you can spend some time, hardly 5, 6 minutes, that will help you. What is this Unix Linux? Okay. So how it came and all. And so Windows and Linux, the difference between is slashes. Windows uses backward slashes. Here you can see the command prompt. They use it backward slash. Linux uses forward slash. Okay. Now in Windows, everything starts with C drive, but whereas in Linux, everything starts with the slash, and that slash is called as a root directory. And this root wording is actually coming from a tree perspective. So the tree starts where the root will be there. The root is the actual place where the tree starts, and from there, okay, the big trunk and branches will come into picture, right? So that's how it was. The idea is pretty same. So the slash is the starting point, and they're calling it as a root. Okay, and yeah, so maybe in slash you're going to have different directories for different purposes, like bin, etc, var, home, blah blah blah. There are some directories. In C drive also you have some directories. Like in Windows, if you go to um, C drive, you will see different things like programming files, users. Okay, what else? Windows. A different folder structure is there. You go under Windows, you'll see hell lot of content. Okay, that is how it is going to. So the same way, Linux also have some directories for different purposes. Okay, so you'll find out different directories. And in uh, as an example, by the way, so if you look at the directory, so this is one directory path, slash home slash EC2 user. So to split this, by the way, so this is actually need to be, if I need to split it up, so this is as this, in fact, actually this way called up. Under slash, you're in a home directory because it is again ending with slash. Under that, you are in EC2 user because it is ending with slash. This is the actual notation of this particular same one. And so this much it is it's a lengthy one. So just the notation is going to be like this without any spaces and all. You need to understand that if we say this is a directory, that means under slash, you have a home as a directory. Under that, you have a EC2-user as a directory. If I say EC2-user is a file, that means under home, EC2-user is a file. So that's where I ended it with slash for you to understand the things. So that's where even ls command by default, it will not show you, let's say ls of slash boot, it will not show you whether it is a directory or something. But whereas if you ask like, so hey, give me the full notation of each and every file, then if you and capital F, let's say some command, so then it gives you certain slashes. Okay, that means this is the actual phase of that file. Okay, so here you're getting some at the rates. This is the actual phase of the file. Okay, by general, ls command will not show everything. Okay, ls of slash boot, it will not show. But unless until you ask for it, you will not get it. So that's the behavior written by the ls command developer. Okay, but if within the operating system, so this is what is a notation for a directory. Slash ending with slash is the notation of the directory. Okay, so this is how it is going to be. So the overall directory structure you're going to have is you're going to have a root directory. Under that root directory, you're going to have other directories, by the way. Like same like under C drive, you have users. And here you can see this under C drive, you have users. Under users bucket directory, under bucket directory, you have desktop. Under that, you have videos. Okay. So like this, you have different directory structure. Linux also, the child directory, child directory will be there. As simple as that. And one small thing that you will need to understand here is Linux file under folder names, Linux files and folder names are case sensitive. That means capital file.txt is not equal to file.txt. Small f, capital F is the difference. But in Windows, both are same only. I'm not sure any one of you have tried this. You go ahead and try to create one file, file.txt with capital F, and you can't create another file with small f, by the way, because Windows is a case insensitive operating system. Whereas the Linux file systems are case sensitive file systems. That means that capital F dot file.txt is not equal to file.txt. Okay, so that is the difference. Now, the next thing as a practice that you start following is avoid using. So that means what is the answer here? Don't use just capital letters, small letters, just like that. Okay, you please need to, um, you know, avoid those old practices of Windows that what you're doing, by the way. So always try to use small characters. And going forward, actually, when you create something, so there is certain, uh, so the certain cases will come into picture. Okay, so that is also for programming purpose. In Linux, you always stick to the lowercase. It's as simple as that. Okay, and avoid giving the next thing is spaces. When you're creating a folder, don't give it space. Avoid giving the spaces. So if you really need to give the, so something, use hyphen or underscore. That is what Linux in Linux will do. And in Linux, same like Windows, you have a hidden files. I'm not sure how many of you, I hope many of you are aware. So Windows, there is a hidden file concept. Okay. So you can always go to the properties of the folder and show hidden files. Then it will start showing you certain hidden files here. So you can see this recovery is a hidden file. This recycle bin is a hidden file. It is showing you certain hidden files. Okay. So the same way, Linux also have hidden files, but the file name starts with dot character. Any file name or any directory that starts with dot character is a hidden file in Linux. Usually it will not show you with the ls command, whereas if I give ls-capital A, it will show you those particular files. Okay, so yeah, anyhow, ls command we're not aware, but you just look at like, dot command, sorry, a dot character in the very starting of the file. So it is all hidden files and directories. Okay. This is what I wanted to give you the introduction. Now the actual commands will come into picture. The first command is the ls command. But yeah, before to that, any questions on this so far? Overall, the important takeaway is So same like Windows, you have Linux also the folder paths, but you have forward slashes, and Linux is a case sensitive. Don't give avoid giving spaces anywhere, and also the hidden files in Linux comes with a dot character, starts with a dot character. These are the points I want you to take away. Yeah. Any questions before proceeding? Okay. Cool. So let's move on. So the first command is the ls command. In ls command, it will just show you, okay, in Windows, one advantage that you have is a graphical purposes. When you double click and open a folder, it will show you the list of files. It's as simple as that. But Linux will not be able to show you that unless you execute a command, ls command. You are inside any directory, you want to see the files. In Windows, it will show you. In Linux, it will not be able to show you. So that's where I'll be typing a ls command to show them. And ls command has some common regular options that we use to show the hidden files. You have ls hyphen capital A, just now I already shown. And also it will show you ls hyphen L. Okay, so ls hyphen L you have to show you if any, for an example, ls of slash boot and ls hyphen L of slash boot. Just give me 1 minute. Hey, sorry, I'm back. Yeah. Now in the ls command, so by default, will show you the files normally, but ls command will change the view to a long list. It will show you some information here. Okay. By end of this week, you will know each and every option, by the way. But however, to start with, so here is the when was the file last modified is showing you here. When the file has last modified is the information showing you here. Okay. And other options you'll see, this is a size, just also another one. This is the size of the file also you will see. In Windows also, I think the same thing you have, right? So folder view, Windows, if you have a folder view, so folder view, something is there, right? Folder view. So you can be able to see them as a list. Okay, so this is a view that ls command is giving you, but you can change this view and give it as so something like details, something if you choose. So it will show you the file name, when it was modified, what is the file type also it is showing. I think maybe size it will show, things like that, right? Linux also same thing, just an option on the command line. That's the difference. Okay, and what is the next option? And you can combine the things anyhow. So ls hyphen L capital A. I mean, you can combine options, and there may be hell lot of options of there may be hell lot of options of ls command. You can always get by using ls hyphen hyphen hell. And depends upon the need, you may read it out. Upfront, you know, to read and digest everything and remember everything. So no need. Upon the need, by the way, you can always go for reading about it. But otherwise, ls command will show you the list of files and if the current directory, whichever you are in. But whereas if you want some other directory, you can give that particular directory path. Okay, so over here, so both will support. Any questions before going with the next command? Okay, cool. So the next is uh, one small thing I have mentioned here, the backlog for you to read it out. So Linux has 7 types of files. So read about it. So whenever you find some time, so please read about Linux 7 types of files. So the next command which we are going to talk about is PWD command. PWD command. So it will show you in which directory you are in. So PWD, the present working directory. So by default, it is actually showing you the tilde symbol, okay, which it is not always showing you the current directory which are in your home directory. But actually, if you give PWD, so this is the one. And you can avoid PWD also because you can just go to, let's say, cd/boot. If I give, I went to some directory, so it is showing you are in boot only. So no need to give all the time PWD as well. So you can save that. Okay, but to switch from one location to another location, the actual command here is cd command. So the cd command is a change directory, which will help you to change the directory of your prompt from one location to another location. Just now I have given cd/boot or else cd/var/log. So you went to this path. So to really give the pwd command. So pwd also show the same thing. So essentially, you can avoid the pwd command. And this is also a customization that I have done for my image. Usually, you will not get that by default. This is little customized prompt. Okay, I enabled the colors, this one on, and above some details for understanding purpose. You will know those values slowly when you actually go. Okay, by end of the training, so you'll know each and every option what is its value. Okay, so CD, and you can give some path. You will go into that path. And there are a couple of options that I want to talk about in the CD command is a CD dot dot, one of the useful command. Now, if I give, okay, so CD dot dot. In Linux, there are 2 things that you have, or especially the shell from the Red Hat, have an understanding or have a dot means current directory, dot dot means parent directory. Okay, dot means current directory, dot dot means parent directory. So cd dot, if I give, you're in current directory only. You'll not go anywhere. So dot means current directory. Whereas cd dot dot, which is actually a parent directory, who is the parent for var log / var is the parent directory. So where you will go, where you will go. So cd dot dot of / var, where you will go, slash you will. Okay. So this is how you can go to your parent directory. This is very useful. But whereas in Unix, okay, I mean in some command lines. So what are basically wherever I'm in, if I give cd enter, it will take me to my home directory. So cd, I'm telling 3 options: cd of a particular directory, cd dot dot to go to your parent directory, and cd enter wherever you are in. You reset your path to your home directory. Okay, so that's how it is. The next is uh, yeah, another operating system. So for an example, I am in which directory, by the way. So for an example, yeah, I'm in some directory here. So you can see this. I'm in this directory, and then in this directory, and then is this. So if I give cd dot dot, where do I go? I go. This is my Mac OS actually, by the way. If I give cd dot dot, I'll go here. If I give cd dot dot, I'll go here. If I give cd dot dot, I'll go here. Okay. Now here I can give, if I want to go 4 directories back, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can give and enter. It will take me 4 directories back is cd dot dot is here and 2 more dots. I think cd dot dot will take you here. cd 3 dots will take you here. cd 4 dots will take you here. So again, I'll go back. So cd, if I give 5 dots, then where I'll be under slash. But Linux doesn't have all those things. So cd 3 dots, it throws an error. Okay, Linux also you can enable that, but actually, so here I installed, it's a shell feature, we call it up. So here I'm using a shell, which is JavaScript shell. So here I'm using a shell, which is bash shell. Okay. So like I mentioned again, so this is a desktop thing, so you don't really need to compare everything to the server. So server purposes are different. So that's where I think you can install this shell, though that feature even works in Linux also. But you don't need to do that on all. Okay, server is not meant for that, so you will survive with what is given mostly. It's okay. Okay, all right. So that's about the cd command. Does it make sense? Any questions? Any questions, confusions? All good. Okay. So then we'll move on to the next command here. So which is touch command. The touch command is just to create an empty file. If I want to create some file, it's going to be touch command. Even in Windows also, it's an empty file when you create a file. Okay. Maybe right click on new text file, create a file, try to go and check the file, check the file. It's an empty file. So here also it is same thing. So and touch and the file name will create an empty file. And touch, and you can give first file name, second file name. You can create multiple files. So okay. So touch sample.txt. Now do ls. That file has been created. ls-l will show me the file size. It is 0 size. Now if I can go ahead and create multiple files also. So touch nodes.txt lambda.py. Okay. The next is, yeah, it will create empty files. So 0 size files. And one important thing that you have to take away from here is Linux doesn't use file extensions. Linux does not use file extensions. So that means .py you're here, .txt you're giving here is the two different things. Okay. So this is not actually an extension. It is the full file name. It is the full file name. Okay. So, but whereas in Windows, these are two different things. Windows works with extension, and this is the file name. This is the extension. In Linux, everything is the file name. Okay. So that is a major difference that you need to understand here. But still, we go with giving the extensions because it's for me, it is easy to understand that what is that file. For an example, node.txt helps me understanding this is a text file. Lambda.py, so it helps me in understanding that's a Python file. So extensions are still for human understanding only. It is not for the system. Okay. So that is how the file extensions will not be there in line. So the next one is how to create a directory. And it's a very simple one. A command is mkdir and it creates an empty directory. Even in Windows also right click, create a new folder. It's called as it creates a new folder. And here also it is just an empty directory. So mkdir demo and do ls of demo, you have empty. Same like Windows, there's nothing. In Windows, you call it as a folder. In Linux, we call it as a directory. And the Linux is a case sensitive, so directory can be named a demo and capital demo is different. Okay. So if I do ls, you have demo and mkdir demo, do ls, both are different. But in Windows, you will not be able to do that. All right. So this is how it is. And the next thing is how to remove your files and directories. So we have created the files, created the directories. Now, how do you remove your files and directories? The command is rm. Okay. So rm, if I give sample.txt, it removes the file sample.txt. Rm nodes.txt, it will remove, okay, nodes.txt. It's gone. Whereas the same command rm demo, if I give, rm also will be used to remove a directory, but it is telling it's a directory. So if it is a directory, you should be using the -r option. So you can go for -r and demo. It removes the directory also. That's all. Okay. So sometimes when you're actually trying to, so clean up a file or a directory, it will ask you yes or no. It will prompt you yes or no. So let me just put a scenario. Okay. So let me put a scenario here, which is lambda py, something like that. Okay. Now I just trying to create a scenario here. So rm lambda.py. So you can see this, it is asking you, hey, this is a write protected empty regular file. So you want to remove that. Yes or no, it is asking. So like this, some prompt will be asked when you're trying to remove. I'm giving no here. Okay, n enter, ls. So now, whereas if I want to remove this file forcefully, so then -f come into picture. Then you'll be able to remove the file. So that's where it is removing the files and directories. But one important thing, when you actually remove the files, be cautious. So removal of a file, okay, you'll not be able to recover it. Same like Windows, you remove a file, you can't recover it. So here also, it is the same thing, right? Clear? Any questions?
Hello.
Yeah,
Actually, two directories is there, not demo, capital D and small d. What is the difference between the two?
capital D, small d is the difference, right?
This one is both are directories.
Correct.
This one is any default or what?
In Linux, it is a case
Yes,
sensitive
sir.
operating system. So it will allow you to create the file names with different cases, whereas Windows doesn't support that.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi Raghu. So you created a directory and files, right? So does it show the different colors to, I mean, it tells, right, which one is directory and which one is a file.
Mm,
So is it something you did it, or it usually shows different colors for different directory and files?
yeah. So ls actually is a command which will show you the colors, by the way. And so that's a default feature from ls command. So I didn't set those colors. You can disable those colors also. But however, in Linux, especially the Red Hat operating system, they're setting up the colors. And those colors also can be modified. And yeah, this is a valid question. I forget to mention actually. So now let's say touch sample.txt for an example. Now do ls-l. How do you determine this is a folder or directory or a file? The first character tells you whether it is a directory or this one. So this color I can modify. I can put red also. Okay, that doesn't mean that is not a directory. Okay, so these are default colors. Usually no one touches those colors. Okay, so unless some some itching guy like me will go and does that. Okay, I used to do it actually. Okay, way long back, not now. Like when I'm learning Linux and all. So we used to change colors to confuse people. Okay. So, but yeah, so no one really, I have not seen anyone touching those colors by default in Linux in the real systems. Um, but yeah, so the first character is a very important one to determine that is a directory or a file. Okay, hyphen means file, D means directory. Okay, so go with this. If you're not sure the color is something, if you have some no trust on that particular color, you still can do that. And also like Red Hat is doing that. So maybe some other operating system, when you actually go, it may not show the colors in that case. Like even this also now you're not getting colors. Okay. So then the character only will can help you, whether it is a directory or file. Because you can go ahead and give, okay, so like let's say touch demo, right? So now when you actually give ls, which is file, which is directory, you can't actually tell, right? Unless until you go and tell ls-l. So the first character D means it's a directory. The first character is a hyphen means it's a file. So that is the actual thing we have. Clear?
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Anyone? Any other questions?
Hey Raghu,
Yeah.
my question is there any command to filter out only directory or only files?
Yes, there are commands to do that, but ls command will not be able to help. Find is a command that can help you. So find dot. So it will tell you these are the directories which are there. Got it.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So you forgot to ask another question. So the tilde and the forward slash. So both takes you to the home directory, or tilde is for root, or
Tilde
sorry,
means home
I'm
directory.
just oh,
Tilde means
okay,
home
tilde.
directory.
Okay, and forward slash.
Is root directory, the
Okay,
parent.
got-
Same like C drive in your Windows.
okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, so the next is how do you copy your files and directories? Okay, so then there is a cp command. You can copy file directory in Windows. Also right click copy. You can copy on a file, you can copy on a folder, right? Here also the same thing, same command will do the job. So CP command, you have to give the source file name and its full path maybe, and destination, its full path if you want to copy to another path. If it is local paths only you'll provide. Okay. For an example here, cp sample.txt to new.txt. Okay. Sample.txt to new.txt. So that means what happened? So the file has been copied here in the same location only. But whereas I want to copy it in some other location, right? Now cp sample.txt to /tmp new.txt, someplace /new.txt under /tmp. The tmp is one path where you keep your temporary files. So then I copied the file inside that location. Okay. Or maybe if my source file is a full path is some other place, etc password. It is in /etc. There is a file name called as password. So tmp sorry, some file name, that's okay. I copied it as a different file name. It's okay, you can do that. So here I'm copying sample.txt as new.txt. I copied password as passef. Right? So that's how you can do that. Whereas when you actually try to do a directory, okay, so then going to be, so cp demo to, like, let's say /tmp /demo, something like that. If I give, it throws an error saying that, hey, it's a directory. I need a -r option. -r not specified. So it is telling -r you do, then it will copy the directory, by the way. As simple as that. Okay. If it is a file, you don't give -r option. If it is a directory, you simply give -r option. That's all. And one shortcut or one hack here is, if you want to copy some file name, so let's say sample.txt, if you want to copy under /demo and again sample.txt, you don't need to give the file name. You simply give the path of a folder. Anyhow, it is going to copy into a same file. It's going to be in a same file name. So now if I go and give ls of this one, it copied inside that. The file name is sample.txt. So you know to give the file name unless until you want to change the file name. Okay, it's a shortcut hack that you will no need to specify so that you will be able to do that. So it just copies into that directory. So these are the quite regular options that we use it. And if the destination is a directory and the source file is placed inside it, and if the destination file already exists, it will override that file. So for an example, I'm copying the sample.txt again, it just overrides the file. Or I copied, like, let's say, new.txt to /sample.txt. What will happen is it is overriding the file. You're replacing the file. Okay, you replace new.txt with okay. So that's about something about the copy of a file. So the command is cp command, very easy to remember, copy cp. Okay, rm remove. Okay, so mostly relative names only, Englishish only, it is right. Able to remember at least, right? So at least after a couple of days, you should be able to, it will go into your subconscious thing. So you'll be able to, immediately catch it up. It's fine. Just need a couple of days for you to catch around it. The next one which I have is a move command, which is help you to rename the files and move the files. So it is about move the files and rename the files. Okay. So how do we do that? Move the file. So I just moved mv something. So mv sample.txt to, if I give demo. Now what happened is demo is my current local directory. Do ls, where is my sample.txt gone? Where it gone? Inside demo. So it's like a cut paste. Move means cut paste. In Windows, you have a separate operation here. You cut and paste is nothing but a move in Linux. And whereas the next option that you have is you can also use the same thing to rename also. Okay. So ls mv new.txt, you rename it as capital new.txt for an example. Now what happened here is ls and the old new.txt is actually copied to capital new.txt. Okay. So that is how it is. MV means it is actually moving the file, and MV, if you give the file name and also give another file name, okay, it is just going to rename. To simpler way to understand this MV is little tricky, okay. To easier to simply to understand, if MV, let's assume this is a source and destination. If the destination is a directory, it will move the file inside the directory. It's a move, okay. Even this is also a move actually. We are just considering as a rename. You moved the file from this to this. It's actually a move operation. Okay. But yeah, it can simply call it as a rename also. Okay. So now here, if my destination, okay, if my destination is a directory and it will move that file to that directory. Whereas if my destination is a file, it will move this file to that file. And if the destination file doesn't exist, it's a rename. And if the destination file exists, it's a overwrite and create. Okay, so three criterias. So here I already mentioned here. Yeah. So majorly two criteria if you consider. If the destination is a directory, the file is moved there. And if the destination is a new name, then the file will be renamed. Okay. File or directory can be renamed. So you can put that way. File slash directory can be replied. So because the move can be used also to rename. So that means ls mv capital demo to capital demo. So this is a rename. Now what happened here? If it is a new name, if the destination is a new name, the destination is a new name which doesn't exist anytime, then it's a rename. Now, if the destination exists and it is a directory, you move the file inside that. These are the two cases that you need to understand. Okay, this is how you do a cut and paste operation in your Linux. Clear? Any questions? You're on mute, Remy. Okay. Anyone? Any other questions? Okay, moving on. So the next is uh, my today's agenda is to complete only here only. So since there are no questions coming in, I'll just to move. No, let's do this tomorrow. First day, I don't want to put too much many things. Anyhow, it's again a breaking. So viewing from the file content. So we'll see it in tomorrow's session. Any questions if you have? So please go ahead. Anything apart from the current topic also.
Raghu, can you talk about how to move a file from one directory to another directory?
So that is what we had done. So move the file. So you see this move sample.txt. It is in /home some directory. It is moved to demo directory, a different directory.
Oh, okay. So the slash has to be behind the demo, not before the demo.
If before demo means it is some other location demo. Okay. So slash under slash. So like I mentioned, so the directories inside, okay, in Linux is always ls hyphen capital F if I give. So the actual name is slash. Even if you give slash, you don't give slash at the ending, it doesn't matter. But if the slash, if you change to before, then it goes under the parent, like, root directory, like, so under slash, that demo, it will move. So it's very important. So
So
bef- hmm,
let's say there is a situation where I actually want to move the file to another directory that's a directory is sitting inside demo, and I want to move that file into that directory.
yes, you can.
How would the syntax go?
So can I move this demo file now? So demo file. Now there is another path which is called as slash tmp. There's a folder called as demo, and I want to move inside this. So enter. Sorry, A got pressed. That's okay. Now ls of slash tmp slash demo. Now that file demo has been moved into this folder as capital A. Or I'll show another one. Um, mv new.txt. I want to copy to this location. I moved ls. There is no more new.txt here. Where it moved, slash tmp slash demo. You will see the new.txt.
Okay, so what if I want to copy and rename it? I want to copy that file from to a new directory and rename it inside that new directory, like to show that this is a copied file, something like that.
Yeah, you have to give the name. Okay, so touch test.txt, something like that. Now ls. Now mv test.txt. When you move here, okay, so copied test.txt. Now the file name, you have to keep it. So you have to give that. You're deviating from the Windows fundamentals, right? In Windows, when you actually copy a file, is there anywhere it will show you that's a copied file? No, right?
No, no.
Mm. So Linux applies same thing, unless you give the file name as copied file. Okay. So for an example, we do this usually in the work also. Now let's say I want to modify some file. So before modification, what do I do? So let's say cd slash etc. There is one file for an example. So there's a password file. I want to update this file. So what do I do? So password underscore bkp. Okay. So even if I'm more, by the way, so when I, if so Feb 23rd, something like that, so we'll just add something. Okay. Anyhow, I don't have permission to do that. It's okay, but you got the point, right? You have to keep the file name.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, or that's all?
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. All.
So, Raghu, can you move multiple files or copy multiple files at once, as you
Mhm.
do in Windows?
Yeah, you can. So now let's say touch 1.txt, 2.txt. Okay. So now I want to copy cp 1.1.txt, 2.txt to slash tmp. So now ls slash tmp, you can do that. And the same thing you replace with the mv command, it just moves also.
Okay, got it. And it's like you have to give all the file names manually. You cannot give a range like we select in
You
Windows,
can.
right? Okay.
You can. Windows you can't give range, right? You have to select a range. You have to select multiple files. That's also manual only, no?
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So here you have to type it. But here you can do that in a different way actually. So now I can give mv star.txt, okay, to slash tmp. Okay. Now those files has been moved. Now let's say if there are 1,000 files with ending with .txt, all has been moved at once. So unlike Windows, there's no difficulty here. Okay. So yeah, that's how it is. Anyhow, somewhere the regular expression link will be there. You should learn that actually. I may not teach you, but there is a regular expression somewhere in going forward the document. It will be there. Okay, that's will called as regular expression. I think maybe it comes in the shell scripting or something. Okay, not I'll just go ahead and look cross check. But yeah, the overall idea is um, it is possible in Linux, much efficient than Windows usually. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the reason you give extensions to the files, right? So that you can
No need
copy
also.
everything together.
No need. You can simply give star also. That means all files can go.
Oh,
So just
okay.
to tell that, if the files, files, any file name with any file name matching with the .txt also. Okay. It need not be dot also. Like for an example, sample, okay, like let's say search sample one and sample two for an example. Now what I can tell is any name, so moves with the sample star. Now I can move the star this side also now, right? So where it is actually the regular expression is matching is this. Now you can use the /tmp. So now sample one and sample two is matching that. Then those are gone here. Sample one and sample. It's all about match.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Anyone? Any other questions? Okay. So starting from today, you'll be able to join the lab session. Okay. So I'll give you a temporary link. Later, you'll get a proper one. Uh, a temporary link is created. So I'll put it here. So if you have any questions or things, by the way, so you can start coming by at your flexible time and you clear up your questions and you can go. Okay. So I have updated this in the here. I think we have few minutes. If anyone have anything, please go ahead. Otherwise, I'm good. But if anyone have any challenges, you want to connect to the lab session right away, I can go and connect there as well. It's okay. Just anyone need it, please tell me. And by the way, I'm done with my work. So I don't need that instance. Should not forget. So delete, terminate that instance. Okay. I'll terminate by the end. So, but don't forget it. Okay.
Hey Raghu, so the idea for the lab is for us to go in and just whatever we do on the EC2, or I guess the idea of the lab is just to go in and ask our doubts.
Yes, the lab session is for the main purpose is during the session, you will not be able to, uh, you know, get all the questions by the way asked. But when you're doing the practice, you start thinking about it. Then you'll see the logical gap. So where is that gap? So such questions you can always come by. And the second thing is when you do a practice, you might, so stuck somewhere for whatever the reason it is, some error, some hidden character you used, or like, some unknown character you used, all these possibilities are there. So that's where you're stuck somewhere. You will come by and solve that particular things in the lab session by sharing your screen. Because in the live session, you'll not be able to share the screen. So there only you'll be able to share the things.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's not like a lab environment where
No.
that's the EC2 instance that
That you
we
create your
run.
own
Yeah,
account and do it. That's your own
yeah.
practice. This
Okay.
lab it's not a lab session. You can say that, it's a query session. You can put that way.
Good. Okay, okay.
Yeah. I'll update the name better. So whoever have any problem, so just join right away. I'll be there. Maybe some 10 minutes I can spend there. If anyone have any problem, someone in the name of X, I don't know. Put your name X means what I want. So please join the lab session. Please put your names properly. Okay. So I'm hoping no questions. If you have any questions, please come by. I know I just updated the link here, right? So just click on that Zoom link. You'll be able to join. but I'll be there for a few minutes. But otherwise, it's a given timings only. The team will be available to help you. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, like, to perform some labs or some practice, will you provide some document or something like that?
So the current document which is given, you just go and follow the same,
We
whatever
have
I
to
had done
practice
today.
the same. Okay, fine. We have to practice. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever I had done, so you have to practice that in your sessions. Sorry, in your servers. That's the expectation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if anyone, please join there. I'll be there. Few minutes. We can discuss. Thank you. Bye. Good day.